was a cook. I was running too long. He was chasing, didn't trip. How'd he do it? I don't know. But somehow I got hooked. Thug passion. He's so compassionate. MMG. Yeah, that's his acronym.
Good morning to everybody out there. You know who it is. It's your man Tay Wiggs, man. Reporting live for the Man Cave. We had 2 games on last night. It was on tap. First game we had was the Washington Wizards taking on the Boston Celtics. You know, Isaiah Thomas just came back from his sister's funeral the other day. So we want to see how this team is molding up and shaping up. So the game 1 of the semifinals. This is what we have right here, the second round. Wizards, Otto Porter Jr. came out fantastic. The Wizards started off hot, out to a 22-5 run. We're gonna talk about how the Celtics then came back and prevailed and got the victory. Otto Porter, I said, yo, if they want to win, I need to see this from Otto Porter. He stepped up big, 16 points, 11 rebounds. I just want to see more from other players, like their bench. Bench only scored 27 points. Out of the 27, only 2 players double figures. Bogdan Bogdanovic, he had 10. Kelly Oubre Jr. with 12. So, I mean, the other guy had 5, Stedorowski. We just need to see more for the bench help doing. And the fact that Markieff Morris went down early with an ankle injury. So that solidified the game right there, who was going to win. Once he went down, you know, that's their heart right there. That's a tough and grit. Because when he's going, it's a different beast. You see when he wins, he scores 17, but he only played so many minutes. He only had 5 points, 3 rebounds. Top played a fantastic game, which I thought he was really huge for them on the boards. I mean, the points is great too, but when you come up big on the rebound side, 13 rebounds with 4 assists to go along with 16 points, wasn't a bad guy from your big man in the middle, the Polish Hammer. For them to win this series, I think he had to play like that every night once they playing. If he can give them that type of effort and intensity on the other side of the floor, that team probably can sneak out of Boston with a game. Trying to win at Boston, win home court advantage. So you at least got to take their home court advantage away if you want to win. So you got to win the next game. Bradley Beal played tremendous. 4 from 7 from the 3-point line, 27 points, 4 assists. You know, as long as he's playing like that, the guys are gonna get it, man. They're going to get it. They're going to get their stuff together. John Wall, told you, man, I love the way he played, but Isaiah Thomas tonight was too much for him. He was too much for him last night. So 20 points from John Wall with your 4 rebounds, but 16 assists and 2 blocks. That's huge. That is huge. That is huge. So when I'm watching the game, I'm looking like, oh man. So my favorite to win this game is still the Wizards to win this series. So I'm looking like, oh, Boston came off flat. There's no way they gonna wake up from this. Like my father keep telling me, you know what I'm saying? He's like, son, the game ain't over. Once that clock hit quadruple zeros, and the game is still a game of runs. So eventually, you knew somewhere inside that team was going to run. They was down 22-5. You know, the reason they went on that run, Isaiah Thomas lost his tooth, and after that, man, they turned up. When I mean turned up, they turned up, man. Jay Crowder, 24.6 assists, 6 from 8 from the 3-point line. Jay Crowder shooting lights out. It's crazy that I'm saying that because, you know, he's not a 3-point shooter. And I guess when this is your night, it's your night. He was just on. And they was giving the ball like, hey, man, you shoot it. And everything he was going in, like all his shots went in nothing but net from 3-point line, which that was great because somebody else picked up the slack and somebody else couldn't get it going. Not saying he picked it up, but he took his game to another level last night. And I appreciate that. And I'm pretty much sure the Boston fans appreciate that too for a home game. But the one person I was disappointed at, Gerald Green played 7 minutes in the starting lineup. His stat line, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 0 attempts. It was just 0. So what you out there starting for? Nothing. He's just a body out there. So just imagine if he would have scored at least 7 to 8 points. The Wizards probably would never get that close back into the game. But like I said, the Celtics was down big in the first quarter. They just went on this run after Isaiah Thomas lost his front tooth. Al Horford was just 1 rebound away from a triple-double. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. But still, Big Al was still out there shooting threes. I still want to see Al Horford inside. I want to see him play inside out. He going outside in first. I definitely want to see him mix his game up. Definitely start inside. Put their big man in foul trouble. Put that Gritat in the foul trouble. So if you put him in foul trouble early, you can dominate the paint. You really can. And a lot of coaches, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Brad Stevens, I know he a smart guy. Have that man play inside. Play inside. Put Gritat in foul trouble. Avery Bradley, another game. Another great game. I ain't gonna say great. This is a solid game. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. He got 4 steals. I'm sorry. Great, great, great. Long as he, like I said, these are the type of guys. These are glue guys. Your Jay Crowders and your Avery Bradleys. As long as these guys is at least scoring 18 or 16 plus, the Celtics win chance level will go from here to there. So they can actually win. When they, like I said, they go from here to there. So they actually their level can go up higher. So as long as them two guys right there clicking the start lineup, so it's a totally different team. And you see how when they all score, that's like a four-headed monster because you got Al Horford going, a Jay Crowder, a Avery Bradley, and Isaiah Thomas. It's just the different things different looks that you get from players. Isaiah Thomas, you got to salute him flying back and forth from his home state, Washington, from his sister funeral, still to come out there to put up 33 points, the 9 assists, not the 9 assists. That's the difference of a point guard. John Wall and Isaiah Thomas, both great point guards. You know what I'm saying? These guys should be mentioned in the MVP running, but nobody's not going to mention them at all just because the other people are the other players are what they doing on the night end basis. But you got to realize where these guys playing at. You got Boston. They don't get a lot of national televised games, and so does the Washington Wizards. But when they are televised, they do not let you down. Um, their bench also scored 27 points as well. Need to see more. Kelly Olynyk with 12 and everything else is spread out. He's come up the bench and putting in some great minutes too. So at one point of the time, he was in the starting lineup. I would say, honestly, I would start Kelly Olynyk at that power forward spot. Move Gerald Green out the starting lineup. If he's not gonna give you nothing across the board, he's just out there just running. Put Kelly Olynyk in and see what you got. You talk about something different. You get more rebounds, and another person who can make his and create his own shot. So, and like I said, their bench also scored 27 points. But the key factors I want to integrate with you on that the Wizards scored 38 points in their first quarter to the Celtics 24. So basically, because these are the outcomes of the game, when I highlight my stuff when I'm watching the game. And the one thing that hurt the Wizards was the second quarter going in halftime and the third quarter coming out of half. They managed to only score 26 points in the second quarter, the Washington Wizards. And the Boston Celtics managed to score 35. So you see where I'm getting at? It was a flip. It was a tale of two quarters. So after halftime, the Celtics picked back up where they left off from, scoring 36 points in the third quarter against the Wizards. The Wizards only put up 16. You're not going to win games by giving up 30 plus points in a quarter. If you give up 30 plus points in a quarter, 9 times out of 10 you will lose them games. And the whole thing now, while you down with it, you playing catch up. You gotta catch up to them. So you don't want to play catch up to a team that's hungry and they fighting for something. I'm not saying the Wizards not fighting for something, but the Celtics are fighting for something different. And they down. Wizards down one game to nothing. They lost 111 to 123. Before we go into the next game, we got 2 games on tonight. The Toronto Raptors take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now that game won that series at 7 o'clock TNT. Second game, the Houston Rockets take on the San Antonio Spurs at 9:30 p.m. on TNT. The Texas two-step. I'm picking the Cavs to win game 1. I'm picking the Spurs to win game 1. The second game, I don't want to sit here and just badmouth any team or a player or organization, but I will say this. The Utah Jazz, I did pick them to win this series. People tell me, no, Dante, that ain't going to happen. I said, man, trust me, man. Blake Griffin is gone. He always injured around this time. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the Clippers don't have a small forward, and their bench is not good enough. So the Utah Jazz won this game 104-91 to take the 7-game series. Their first playoff series win since 2010. Gordon Hayward, this is the second game where Gordon Hayward shot 9 for 20, winded up with 26 points, 8 rebounds. But the main thing I like, he was 6 for 6 from the free throw line. That means, you hear me say it all the time in my segments. If you can't find other ways to score, go to the hole. Guess what? Make the referee earn his paycheck and make him blow that whistle. When the referee sees the other team being more aggressive and the aggressor, what are you gonna do? He don't have no choice but to blow his whistle. If he blow his whistle, you doing something right. Make him run, make him call that. So you know that the way the referees work in the NBA, the calls go to the most aggressive team. Most people say, oh, he just called us. I can't believe he called that. If that other team come out playing flat and not making initiatives to change their game to adjust to the other team, you're not gonna get no calls that benefit you. But if they see the other team find a different ways to score and going to the hole way more and picking up the pace of the game, guess what the referee gonna do? He gonna blow his whistle. So you gotta make the referee blow his whistle. Like I said, Boris Diaw. I said if they win, you gotta get 10 points from Boris Diaw, and they did. I said if they win, you gotta get 17. You gotta get 10 or 12 points from Derek Favors. And what Derek Favors come with? He come with 17 points and 11 rebounds off the bench. We're gonna speak about how he got those points. Like I said, Boris Diaw 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists off the bench. Fabulous, fantastic. I take that all day long. But Rudy Gobert got an early foul trouble. 1 point, 4 rebounds. And they still won the game because guess what? Next man up. Rudy Gobert goes down. Derek Favors step in. 17 points, 11 assists. Another guy I want to talk about, I said they got to win this series. I said Joe Ingles got to at least give me 8 points in this series, in this game too. And guess what he did last night? 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals. So I take that 4 steals any day. 4 steals. Because the last game he had 0. So he's on the board. Closeout game. And you know what? The team he's playing is the same team that cut him a couple years back. So guess what? That's a chip on your shoulder. So what's the best way? Yo, I didn't want to lose them. He probably told his coach like Coach Q. Okay, hey, I don't want to lose them. I want to put them out. And that's what he did. You play with chips on your shoulder. So guess what? That's what they did. Another huge game. George Hill, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. I love because only one person they line up then scoring double figures, but guess what? He was down early, foul trouble, and they still put other guys in. It's the next man up. And one thing I did like, Rodney Hood, the lefty shooter, Duke University, 11 points, 3 rebounds, played a terrific game, a spectacular game. ISO Joe, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He revived his career because last year he didn't do so good, but this year he playing with a purpose. One thing I said last year, sitting down with some friends of mine, I said, look, Utah's one of the teams we're gonna have to get used to watching. Nah, man, I don't think they a couple of pieces away. I said, why not? They got George Hill, Joe Ingles. I said the key pieces they picked up was George Hill, Boris Diaw, and Joe Johnson. I said that's enough to make a playoff squad right there. Players who played in big games already know they've been there. Joe Johnson, Boris Diaw won the ring, and of course, Joe Johnson is in the game. He played in big playoff games, so that's good. You got veterans in a young locker room. Most teams don't have that. You know why? Because they show them how to be pros on the court and off the court. So once you get your own locker room, it's that much easier to gel with other players. And like I said, the Jazz pulled away really big. They had a big third quarter. 33 points in the 33 points in the third quarter compared to the Clippers 24 points. And another reason why they won, I'll circle this and blue ink pen. 46 rebounds for the Utah Jazz, 38 for the Clippers. And like I said, it's their first playoff win since 2010. The hungry team won. It made it so bad. I'm just keep telling people this as I talk to people through my Twitter. And I've always said that commentator told Chris Paul, "Will you be back here to play Game 7 on Sunday for a win?" Chris Paul sat back and with a little smirk and said, "Like, really? You gonna ask me that? Of course we know you gotta play and win the game, but the question you didn't ask, the question you didn't answer, Chris, was, yeah, we're gonna get the win." He didn't even say that. Most players you ask that question to, "Hey, so and so, do you think you're gonna come back here and win this Game 7?" Most players are like, "Yeah, that's what we out here for. We're gonna play. I'm gonna try and will my team to victory." We wind that back. They ask Chris Paul, "Hey, Chris Paul, is your team gonna come back? Team gonna play on the Sunday and trying to win?" What type of question is that? What you think? You didn't answer it. So we trying to figure out what you think. So you didn't answer it. That means you didn't have confidence in your team and yourself going out there to close that Game 7 out. So let's talk about the Clippers. They had a good season. Blake Griffin always seemed to get injured around these playoff times and before the All-Star break. I want to question Doc Rivers on this. Why in the hell did you start your son? It's Game 7. I am putting in a Jamal Crawford or taking J.J. Redick. These two guys I've had sitting on the bench. Austin Rivers and J.J. Redick. So disappointed in J.J. Redick. This series only scored 26 points. He averaged 5. He only can shoot threes and go around. He only can get open off picks. He cannot create his own shot off the dribble. He don't really take that many 2-pointers. Why? Because most Duke players live and die by the 3. That's their motto. But other guys can put it. But this guy right here, disappointed. You didn't score your first basket. You end the game with 3 points, 2 rebounds. You didn't score your first basket to the 4th quarter. And Doc Rivers, and everybody said how good of a coach he is. He never made no adjustments to his lineup. Wow, you put Austin Rivers in, your son. I don't care about that being your son. No Brandon Bass tonight. He got a DNP. No Allen Anderson. Didn't play. DNP. Wesley Johnson. DNP. Like, these guys should have played. It's all or nothing on the table. And you didn't do it. Not Doc Rivers. Not Doc. I didn't even call you Doc. Y'all team like you need a doctor. Call him by his first name. Glenn Rivers. What in the hell happened out there to your Clippers? Like I said, Austin Rivers with 9 points. Wah, wah, wah. Luba Mute Richard. 2 points, 2 rebounds. You can have somebody at your 3-point? At your 3? You gonna have my dude Paul Pierce go out like that? The truth? This whole season was false. Ain't nothing truth about this season. Paul Pierce, Hall of Famer. Good man, good years, many years of watching you play. And I can't believe you went out like this, man. I always started Paul Pierce. Most definitely. Ain't no way that Glenn Rivers, the coach, a.k.a. Doc Rivers, had Luba Mute out there only scoring 2 points with 2 rebounds. You got to be kidding me. DeAndre Jordan had a hell of a game tonight. 24 points, 17 rebounds, but it wasn't enough to get your team over the hump. J.J. Redick, like I said, 3 points, 2 rebounds. You didn't score your first 3 points till late in the 4th quarter. Terrible. Chris Paul, terrible game tonight. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. That is not Chris Paul type game. It's not a CP3 type game. I need to see better results. Need to blow that team up. Get some shooters in there. Please address that small forward spot. That's what's killing you, the guys in the West. Every team at least have a legit 3. This team doesn't. Jamal Crawford, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. More than likely, again, the 6 Man of the Year award. He get this award, they might as well name it after him. I would never. Paul Pierce going, like I said, Paul Pierce went out last game, 6 points for a hell of a ride in the NBA seasons. We played. This is what 18th season in the league. Gotta give kudos to a guy like that, or his 19th season in the league. Gotta give kudos to a guy like that to stick around like that. But Glenn Doc Rivers, I'm firing you. Son gotta go. Luba Mute, bye bye. JJ Redick, trading. Blake Griffin, trading. Like, what are you doing? This is the worst I've seen Doc Rivers coach in the playoffs. But I'm not going to put it on Doc. Start with your leader, Chris Paul. Body language tonight wasn't there. He was going through the mixed emotions. Body language wasn't there. Like I said, they lost 104 to 91. And they lost at home. They will forever be little brother to the Los Angeles Lakers. That's why, like game 2s and game 3s, you would see me calling them the Lost Clippers. Not the Los Angeles Clippers. The Lost Clippers. L-O-S-T. Because I told you from the jump that I picked the Utah Jazz to win this series. And guess what? The Utah Jazz played sweet music to my ears by eliminating the LA Clippers. You gotta fire Steve Ballmer. You gotta fire Doc Rivers and that coaching staff. I'm just disappointed. Ain't no way that Chris Paul went out like this again. Again. Free agency coming up. Couple of guys that you might see in new places. I'm just giving you a little sneak peek. Don't be surprised you see Chris Paul go to a San Antonio or find his way down to New Orleans. I'm just saying, give you a little food for thought. A PG going to the Lakers. Like you talking about Melo going to Miami Heat. He ain't going to Miami Heat. Why? Won't. Don't be surprised if Melo goes somewhere else. I wouldn't be surprised Derrick Rose playing in Milwaukee. So there's all type of things that's gonna happen in these free agency. So we're gonna say that for another day. Just disappointing the Clippers. You know who I am. Follow me on my YouTube channel at TAE_WIGGS. That's Tay Wiggs. If you don't know, now you know. And my second one, follow me on my Twitter page at TAE_WIGGS. Once again, that's Tay Wiggs. You know who I am. I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. One.